Yeah, I mean the slide gonna be in like a rock and through a.
And you need a deck space on it too. I think that a lot of the fitness craves are moving towards water exercise and water therapy. We see a lot of injuries, and particularly physicians and folks who are referring people to use pool therapy, and I don't believe that there is enough adequate space in the community.
Many parents believe that jump ropes, basketballs, and trombones are a necessary part of education. Gail Berman says these are lifelong skills that are essential in preparing her two kids for the future.
And I would like my kids to be able to see all the different things they can do instead of just, what we have in the schools. I want them to be able to learn about the arts and the music and the phy-ed and things that they just aren't getting here.
The family survey for the 96-97 school year shows that parents are also concerned about getting more information about their children's progress and having the technology in schools to prepare their kids for the 21st century. In the survey, almost 75% of the parents strongly agree that specialists, like art and music teachers, are an important part of the school. And over 50% of the parents say they will not compromise class size in order to get more specialists.
When a teacher is responsible for 20-plus students, and you have, all it takes is 2 or 3 students that are struggling, and that pulls the entire class down. The other children don't get the opportunity to learn at the level that they're at.
The study shows differences from school to school on issues like how available the principal is and whether curriculum is challenging. District officials say they're going to look at the areas parents are concerned about and do whatever they can to fix them. In Duluth, Angela Wang, Channel 6 News.
I do see we're going to put a lot of our energies, we're going to put a lot of our finances into stopping these fires and into apprehending the responsible parties for this, and we will be successful.
That was just my...
We've all opened our refrigerator and smelt an odor that's just a little too much to handle. That's just one reason two guys from Duluth decided to invent a little gray box called the Fridge Guard.
Well, I got a Fridge Guard because I didn't like the way my fridge smelled. It stunk from odors of onions and cabbage and broccoli and things. So when I got the Fridge Guard, I don't worry about the odors anymore because it's always fresh when I open the fridge.
Controlling odors is just one of the many things the Fridge Guard can do. The device is battery operated and creates ozone. Wide-scale food manufacturers have been using ozone to extend the life of food since the 1930s. Just like the ozone layer naturally protects the earth, this gadget can protect your beets and produce.
Everybody I know throws a certain amount of food away. How long has it been in there? Is that a common question? It'd be nice if you could get another week or two out of your produce or these things and give you a chance to eat them, and they still stay fresher and they last longer.
I decided to put the Fridge Guard to the ultimate test and look for one of the most challenging refrigerators in the Northland. I found it right here at the station. We put the Fridge Guard in here, and after 10 minutes, almost all the odor was gone. Scientists say the Fridge Guard will also kill all kinds of bacteria, ranging from salmonella to E. coli.
You can't control every bacteria. There's countless ways it's going to enter your body. But the last place it gets, it sits in your refrigerator. And everyone tries to eat their food before it goes bad. But this is a safeguard. One more safeguard against the bacteria and deadly germs that are out there.
Next week, these two inventors will be meeting with executives from Frigidaire and Amana who are interested in learning more about this new home technology. In Duluth, Adam May, Channel 6 News.
I recommend that you stand it up in the back of your fridge in the same place that you would have put a box of bacon.
Formal notice to all taxpayers.
What we're interested in is using the dollars to pay off the debt and to rebuild some of the programs that we've cut and to build some new programs that will help maintain our student population.
Hard hitter, but she wasn't. Yeah, we believe she acted properly. She responded by calling an emergency code. We do have a device on our radios that are personal body alarms. That was activated. Prompt response was and the matter was intervened in.
The Hermantown Snowmobile Trail has been the only link between the North Shore Trail and the Willard-Munger Trail for 6 years. But now some local landowners have decided not to sign the permits this year, allowing the trail to cross their property. Trail users say that could hurt snowmobiling in the Northland.
Well, the snowmobilers lose a way to get from the North Shore Trail to the Munger Trail, and all the businesses along the trail are going to lose that economic impact.
Greg Sorensen of the State Snowmobiling Association says all but 2 of the landowners on the trail have agreed to the permits. If the trail is lost, he says it would take quite an effort to get between the trails.
A towing company will come with a flatbed and a trailer, and for, I don't know what it is, $40 a sled or $20 a sled, they will take you around through Duluth.
This spot along Maple Grove Road is one of 2 where property owners have denied permits, putting the future of the Hermantown Trail in jeopardy. but some other landowners say they're happy to see the snowmobilers come by.
It was actually kind of fun. If it was kind of dull around here, you could watch the snowmobiles go by. There was no problem.
But not every landowner on the trail agrees, and the snowmobiling club needs everyone to comply if the sleds will be allowed on the trail this winter. Justin Acree, Channel 6 News.
I'm sorry I'm unable to attend today, as I have a previous commitment. It's not a Parker pen, but it is a Superior pen. It's a major plus for the institution, a major plus for the students, and that's what it's all about after all. Everything we do with the best interests of the students in mind, and certainly this gift makes it a significant step in the direction of making it possible for students to succeed even more.
Well, a mole is described as 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd power. 1023, 1023. It's going to happen. Anyway, they're going to have this party with pinata and this thing. Mole songs. He's going to do a song in Russian. So this sounds.
Well, with the grouse, that's really picked up recently. You know, people, ever since the opener, they've been seeing quite a few. They've been jumping quite a few grouse. I think that the DNR was saying that the highest populations were going to be right around the North Shore. And just for the local guys, they're doing real good too, just right around here around Island Lake.
I took John's advice and headed to Island Lake to see if ruffed grouse really are as abundant as the experts are saying they are this year.
Grouse hunting doesn't cost a lot of money. All you need is a license, a shotgun, and due to new regulations this year, just a little bit of blaze orange for safety's sake. Of course, the most important thing to keep in mind when you're out in the field is gun safety, and the first rule there is to make sure your safety is on until you are ready to fire. Number two, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire, and always, always make sure your muzzle is pointed in a safe direction.
It only took 10 minutes of walking before I spotted a grouse, and the hunt was on.
He's taking off in this direction. Typical cagey ruffed grouse, he's leading us right through a swamp.
I finally caught up with him, flushed him into the air, and took my shot. A clean miss. Oh well, at least I'm now able to say that no animals were harmed in the completion of this news story.
Well, in my expert meteorologist opinion, it sure looks like it's starting to rain. That tends to put a damper on hunting, so time to start heading back to the truck.
Final score, birds 1, hunters 0. But that is part of the bird hunting mystique. You don't mind going home empty-handed after a day in the beautiful North Woods. Near Island Lake, Dave Anderson, Channel 6 News.
Something with a chimney inside. They use like a wood-burning stove.
Developers want to expand the Spirit Mountain recreation area with a new golf course and hotel to stay competitive in what they call a rapidly changing recreation business.
Our competitive position is eroding. With the other areas adding lifts, adding runs, adding amenities for the guests, it will have an impact on us.
The additions are part of a revised master plan they've developed. They say the course and hotel will be paid for by private development money and would fund other improvements at Spirit Mountain that would benefit many people.
That will give us the money, or at least some of the money, to go ahead and start doing some of the other projects on the master plan. And all of it benefits the community. But it's up to the community to decide.
But opponents say the plan would destroy wetlands and some of the historic trees on Spirit Mountain property.
And we're concerned about that as a loss of the forest land that's up there. There's extensive amount of wetlands, and a golf course up there is definitely going to have a negative impact on that area.
Members of Duluth's Tree Commission are concerned about some yellow birch trees in the area. They say these trees would be part of a protected old-growth forest in a few decades. But Spirit Mountain officials say they've considered that in the revised plan.
We're very sensitive to the environment and to the trees. I consider myself to be an environmentalist. I don't think you can be in the ski or recreation business and not be.
Art theater. Be willing to share our power with all people that are different than us.
And hobbling with a walker.
Really?
Hi, you coming with? Yep. Take it up the rear. Come on, let's go.
This one has a word processor, this one has a word processor.
The new Wisconsin Works, or W2, welfare program is putting former welfare recipients to work and teaching them how to be productive in various career fields.
We're trying to get them to be more responsible. We're trying to get them to understand that this is a place of employment. They have to take it seriously, they have to be on time, and if there's a job that has to be done, we like it done.
Courtney Griffin runs the W2 program at the Boys and Girls Club in Superior and helps people learn job skills, from computer literacy to resume writing. The club also sponsors an English as a second language course. Through the W2 program, Julie Bolt started working at the Boys and Girls Club and now supports her family with her earnings.
I know that I'm working to pay the rent, and she's got, food on the table, and she's taken care of.
Douglas County officials say Julie's success story is proof the new system is working.
You're often identified by what you do for your work, and that's a good feeling. You come to work every day and you accomplish something, and that's a real positive feeling. Everybody should have that opportunity.
That opportunity is a new one for many. Welfare change now mandates that people must work to collect a check. They must also be a state resident for 60 days before they're eligible. And now there's a 5-year limit on benefits in the program. Some critics of the change say there need to be more support systems in place to help welfare recipients make the transition into the workforce. Here at the Boys and Girls Club, officials say their success rate is only 1 in 4, but they say they continue to teach and support those in need in a low-stress, positive way.
You take a negative and you can make it positive, so no matter how many goof-ups they have, you can always take one of those goof-ups and make it a positive thing.
Remaining positive has helped Julie get her life back on track.
My life is a lot better now. The money situation is better, and then I get to spend a lot more time with my child.
In Superior, Justin Acree, Channel 6 News.
Because there are different.
Stuff like that. Or the old system where it's like, you couldn't get caught up, and it was hard. At first, when I first.
And you could see that something had happened. We thought an animal got him because his chest was wide open and there was a lot of blood. I ran back to the truck and got a blanket and wrapped him up and brought him down to the vet.
Right now, this little guy is resting comfortably on a soft blue blanket. He's safe here thanks to Mary. She and her husband found the puppy in North Star Township Thursday. He had been tied to a tree and shot twice, left for dead for 3 days, until Mary came along and raced him to the North Shore Veterinary Clinic.
He was very weak and dehydrated, in shock, and yet wagged his tail. It was great.
The dog's ear had literally been blown half off by the shotgun blast. X-rays show the pellets inside his little frame.
He had a shotgun injury that destroyed a large portion of the right ear flap and created a lot of muscle and skin damage from the point of his shoulder all the way under his arm and along his chest wall on the right side.
Yes, the sweetest. Doing good. It's the sweetest.
Dr. Schmidt was able to save the dog after 4 hours of intense surgery. Every day, Mary has come to visit him and has given him a new name.
We named him Phoenix because he rose up, and he's going to live for another 500 years now because of the vets and what they did for him.
And now this dog with a new name and new lease on life will go to a new home. Both Mary and a hospital employee want to adopt Phoenix. Through the joy of saving the puppy comes the emotion for the rescuers and the unanswered questions. Who would do this and why?
I'm still very upset. I don't understand how anyone could do this. And I mean, you look at the dog and he's so sweet, you know. He's full of kisses and wags, and you know, I'm very emotionally upset right now. Sometimes angry, but mostly sad.
But what a neat thing that you and your husband actually stopped and helped this dog out. So many people wouldn't do that.
Insurance. Now, therefore, I, Gary L. Doty, Mayor of the City of Duluth, do officially proclaim.
The breadth of the body. The nails are colored, the red one dark, seeks after the life-giving blood. So much to do and so little time, but wait.
I was going to try and get some insurance, and at that time I was required to have that. And it was discovered at that time, and I would encourage anyone, you know, don't wait that long and don't wait for, you know, a specific incident. Go ahead and have one on a regular basis.
Of sexual abuse.
Using
get
it.
at it.
Or they put a cutting board over the top and someone.
But
I think the state pretty much kept them out of it. That's the only case that I'm aware of in the 19 years I've been here that may have been associated with a deliberate tampering.
It's been apparent to the police that Mr. Huff was a viable suspect for some period of time now, and in fact has been described by the news media, and I would not disagree that he was the prime suspect.
Dora Maria Silver's body was discovered in June of 1996. Police suspected her former boyfriend, Ronald Huff, of the crime, but for 16 months could not charge him without key information.
What changed is that a person came forward recently and told us that Mr. Huff had acknowledged this murder to that person.
Investigators state Huff was arrested June 1st of 1996 for assaulting Silva, and that when he got out of jail June 3rd, a witness heard him say he had caught her with some other guy and that something is going to happen. Police then re-interviewed a friend of Huff's who reported to investigators Huff told her, "I can't take this anymore. I want to die." That new information came just last Thursday, along with word that Huff was planning on leaving town. Police had enough to make their arrest.
Yes, this has been a very important case to us. We've worked hard on it. The investigator that's been working on this has pretty much worked on it nonstop for some extended period of time.
We got it this morning and started giving it away this morning, and we've got another truckload coming this afternoon. Hope the problem gets cleared up as soon as possible.
Bob Francis and his souped-up golf cart are a familiar sight in Chisholm. Confined to crutches by chronic health problems, it gives him the mobility he needs. Here at Von Steffenrud Elementary School, he has his own parking spot. Bob helps out in the school's computer lab. He refuses to call what he does work.
Well, hold it down. Go way down to here.
On the day we met Bob, he had his hands full fielding questions from bright little kids. It's a challenge Bob relishes.
It keeps me young to come down and I learn new things every day. We get new programs I have to learn, programs I'd have no use for myself, but I have to learn them to show the teachers how to do them or to help the kids with them.
Bob learned his way around computers after his health forced him to give up his career as an office manager. He first came to the school 7 years ago to help set up a computer. That one-time favor for a friend led to a full-time job, one without pay. Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day, you'll find him in the computer lab.
There are hardly words to describe what he does for us here. He's invaluable, actually. His main interest is the children, and his main concern is the children.
It's a lot easier teaching because he's there. You know, when I run into a problem, Bob is always here and he always comes over to help troubleshoot.
5- and 6-year-old children who know how to use a mouse before they can even spell the word. Watching Bob help them master what many of us adults might consider technology too complicated to learn, it's difficult not to use the word remarkable. Others think he's pretty remarkable too. Bob is one of 15 Minnesotans to be recognized by the governor with the 1997 Acts of Kindness Award.
I would pay to come down here. I mean, I get different equipment to play with, different programs, and I enjoy the people, the teachers and the kids and the staff, everybody down here are my friends. So it just, to me, it's recreation. It isn't work.
You today, and a special thank you to you, Senator Conrad, for your kind introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Coons. A very touching testimony, and thank you for your courage of being here.
Our children are quietly being destroyed, dying by this man's music, by ones and twos, in scattered isolation throughout our nation today.
A thin layer of ice covers the water hazards. The fairways and tee boxes patched with snow, and the holes filled with sand. But that's not stopping those true to the sport of golf.
We come out until the course is covered with snow. There are no rules at this time of year. Winter rules would be convenient on a day like this.
There might not be playing rules, but there are rules for dress.
Well, we got the long johns on the bottom and just an extra shirt on. Oh, insulated vest. And my stocking cap from the old Henry Jensen days. You know, rock and roll.
Well, they say the cold weather really doesn't affect the golf game, so I thought I'd try it out for myself.
All right.
Not bad for November golf in Duluth. Instead of sand traps, there are snow traps. And what if the snow gets too deep?
Well, if we get more snow, you know, I'm just going to have to get some snow chains so I can go through the snow. By golly, that's the real McCoy.
Bob says until the first major blizzard, when there's no sign of a fairway, the golf game goes on. In Duluth, Adam May, Channel 6 News.
As I was heading from north to south down this valley, I had an excellent view and a momentary view of the entire. Today we are still attempting to ring it around the world temporarily, as there ever were a day to kill at a distance because he doesn't have to personally witness as well.
No matter what boat you came over on or whether you're, or however you have to be here, we're all in the same boat now. And our first objective should be to be a good American.
The VA budget for the next 5 years, which means the VA...
Terrible thing, and we must be very, very careful in how we enter into it. Pilot weasels were returning fire with high-speed anti-radiation missiles or arms on 11 when Desert Shield and Desert Storm kicked off. They were at most 3 years out of college. They consider our extremely low air losses in Desert Storm as miraculous. As I said earlier, the experience of combat made such an imprint on my psyche.
Be done by this evening.
Nice.
Yeah, which I'm very. These are the only. These are. I'll show you. All right. Go way down here. The nice thing is the child truly believes it comes from their dad and that the Salvation Army is not involved in it. So that's the nice part of it.
I think it's important for people to realize that the Attorney General's office is available to local jurisdictions that may not have expertise or experience in certain types of prosecutions, and arson is a rare charge and it's a complicated charge, and so we've asked for assistance.
We've just demonstrated that UV radiation will cause missing limbs or missing digits in the laboratory. And we need to compare those results with the exposure to UV radiation that frog embryos might actually be receiving out in nature.
Right, they appear not to have much. They've seen the similar deformity.
It isn't just a few people down in Washington.
Right.
Yeah. You know, the reason why I want to do this interview. People cause violence. People cause death. You know, people that are crazy on drugs or alcohol, those are the people that are way more dangerous than any gun could ever possibly be.
saw the smoke coming out of the chimney, and it was a little more than usual, so I was concerned that it was a chimney fire, but and I was hoping it was just a chimney fire, but when I went in the kitchen, I could see that the whole house was pretty much in flames.
Jess and Katie Koski were married 2 weeks ago, but a fire burnt their home to the ground while Jess took Katie to her job in Two Harbors. He found the fire when he got back, but couldn't salvage much, just a few tools and a family pet.
I ran around to the back door, kicked it open, and kicked some windows open, and the cat, at the last minute, ran out the door and up a tree, so the only life lost, actually, was our goldfish we received as a wedding gift.
All this on the day they sent the last of their wedding thank you letters. The fish were one of the many gifts the Koskis lost in the blaze. Fire also destroyed all the pictures and negatives from their special day, as well as several childhood memories.
Just stuff you have from being a kid, too. Like, I lost my Raggedy Ann, and, you know, there's stuff you can't. I don't care about the material stuff so much. I mean, it's hard to lose that. It's inconvenient, and you just have to work slowly on replacing it back. But it's just the stuff that you can't replace, and that'll be hard.
Even though the fire took the Koskis' home away and burned up all their worldly possessions, they found a silver lining in this cloud. They say this tragedy could have been worse.
Katie's expecting, and in next spring, you know, we'll have a baby in here, and we're really thankful that it's not next spring right now. So,
yeah.
I think we're lucky.
The newlyweds really do feel fortunate. They were just starting out. Now they're starting over. And the Koskis will have a tale to tell their new family member when he or she arrives in April.
You know, the additional stress is not a good thing right after you get married, but you know, we'll have something to talk about years down the road.
In Alden Township, Justin Acree, Channel 6 News.
Do I have to dig in the garbage for it? I want to get my hat.
Tours at Glensheen Mansion are taking a different angle this season. The halls are decked with boughs of holly, and the entire home is strung with elaborate garland. Rose Kenningsburg finds tranquility as a volunteer holiday decorator.
Glensheen is a very wonderful place to be. It is a magnificent estate, but it is also very much a home. And you feel that especially at the holiday times because they try to incorporate Congdon traditions with also the post-Victorian era. So it's just magical. And anyone walking through the home during this time of year will just see that the home really shines like a fine gem this time of year.
The most popular part of the holiday tour is the Congdon family Christmas tree. Joan Likely also volunteers at Glensheen and says the tree gives the idea of what Christmas would feel like at the estate.
The ornaments on the tree here are ornaments that were collected over the years by family members, and every season they're carefully packed away and then brought out again. Some of them are very old and go way back to when the house was first built.
The Congdon family tree isn't the only decoration you'll see here at Glensheen this year. Here's a look at what else you can see throughout this magnificent house during the holiday season.
A report released by the Minnesota Department of Transportation found that after raising the speed limits in 1996, the number of traffic fatalities actually dropped. The report found that in July through September of this year, there were 166 fatalities on the road, a 10-year low and a drop of 20% from 1996 and lower speed limits. MnDOT officials also found that people drove an average of 5 miles over the limit when it was 55 and 4 miles under the limit now.
I would say they were exceeding the speed limit before, and they seem to be miraculously now nearly within it.
Some law enforcement officers say the numbers are encouraging, but it's too early to be conclusive.
I think it might be a little premature to make, final judgment about it until we see what happens over a little prolonged period of time. But
Lieutenant David Stout of the Minnesota State Patrol says people may have driven more carefully when the limits first changed, but that may not be the case now.
The first week or two when they changed the speed limit, the public was really pretty good. They were behaving themselves well. What we've seen is the increase has gone up now.
It's still just using good common sense, using your judgment where you feel comfortable driving at a certain speed.
When you have kids that are ill-prepared and ill-dressed for the weather, or come to school in clothes that just aren't appropriate for school, it impacts our ability to educate the kids. Certainly if you're waiting for your feet to unthaw in the morning, you're not paying that much attention to what's going on in the classroom. So an effort like this really enables us to reach a lot more kids.
Star, and we just made it for our classroom to decorate the tree. And then we have a bigger one that we're going to bring home, so then we can put it on our Christmas tree.
It's a snowflake. What we did was we cut out strips and then we folded them back and forth, and then we put them all together and it made a snowflake.
Both sides of the heated snowmobile debate made their appearance at the Duluth City Council chambers. 4 of the 9 city councilors are sponsoring proposals to ban snowmobiles from public streets and tighten regulations on this popular Northland sport. Many constituents say the sport is just too dangerous for local streets.
I'm not a snowmobile hater. I believe that snowmobiles have their place on certain trails and things, but I just don't see Duluth, the city of Duluth, as a place that snowmobiles should be allowed to run wild and free in.
When the snowmobiles roar behind our backyard, the rail track is behind our back fence. And I can't understand why we should have noise, pollution, and such all hours of the day and night, or even during the day, period. I do not want snowmobiles racing up and down in that area.
But this proposed snowmobile ban has strong opponents, such as the president of the Duluth Snowmobiling Association.
It sends a signal to the whole snowmobile community and the industry that snowmobiles are not welcome in this area. In fact, I have a letter that I am presenting to the City Council this evening from the City Maintenance Department that they have never, in the history of the city, patched one street because of snowmobile damage in the city of Duluth.
And although many residents don't agree, snowmobilers say that certain snow-related events, such as the MRP Snowcross, would avoid Duluth in coming years, having a strong economic impact on the entire community.
And there are plans for a international trade show at the deck in 98 or 99, and the economic impact of that is estimated at around $10 million.
In Duluth, Adam May, Channel 6 News.